What's going on, YouTube vinyl community? Well, if you wanted to hear an old fat guy that does questionable things with what little money he has, talk about metal records, metal releases, come to the right place. Welcome. And yes, I've got a stack of records to talk about because I've had them for a while. I've been listening to them quite a bit, and I really need to start filing some of the mess because after a hiatus of buying things, I am back off the wagon and buying all sorts of shit. And since the Heavy Metallurgy show has been kind of tackling more focused topics, I think I can relax a little bit and just do some collection updates. You guys seem to like those, so I'm just going to show off a few records. And let's get right to it. No sense setting up something that you already know what's going to happen. But first up, I got some birthday money back in June, and I went to my local shop and picked up Halloween's Better Than Raw 2LP set. On the shelf there, it's been there a long time. It's in great shape, brand new, sealed condition, and they wanted $30 for this, which I always thought was way too much money, because this shop downtown always overpriced Discogs prices. Well, I had a gift card, so I bought it, only to find out that people have paid way more than $30 for this online. So I guess that kind of took away some of the shame in buying something that I felt was a bit too expensive. But it's a great album. This is the third Andy Darris album, Better Than Raw. Some of their best songs are on here with him. Push, Falling Higher, Hey Lord, Revelation, great fucking song. I Can, Handful of Pain. Great stuff, and my dog just drooled on it. Come on, man. Excellent album. Check it out. Next up, I realized as I was listening to Spotify that Halloween's My God-Given Right. I was listening to a version of it on Spotify, and all of a sudden all these songs I had never heard started playing, which were I Wish I Were There, Wicked Game, Nightmare, More Than a Lifetime. Started doing some investigating online and found out there was a special edition of this album on this like digibook. This is a 2 CD set. There's a booklet glued to the inside of some poorly computer generated graphics and heavily airbrushed rocker dudes from Germany. Spent way too much money for this because I had to have those 4 songs. And yeah. And the guy that sent it didn't really package it that well, so it got a little beat up in transit, but you know, I'm not going to resell it. When I'm dead and gone, someone else around here can deal with that. But so it's just here for my enjoyment, and I don't know where the hell I'm going to put this. Probably in the record section because it's almost the same size as a record. It's about a 10-inch size, I guess. But, yep, a lot of people talk down on later era Darris. This is a good album. 90% of this album is really good. Towards the end, like God Loves Rock and Roll. Kind of dumb, silly song. Living on the Edge. Claws. The album kind of peters out the end, but that's only 2 songs out of 13 that are really solid. Check it out if you have not. Next up is 2 versions of Halloween's Skyfall. One of them's got a metallic foil. The other one does not. There's a bunch of different versions of this. There's a picture disc version. There's a bunch of different vinyl colors, vinyl variants. But the musical differences between these two are... this one has got the Skyfall single edit, which is the one that they put out the video for. And then there is the Skyfall exclusive alternative vocal mix, which is basically the full 12-minute version of Skyfall, but they severely chopped up the lyrics, chopped up the singers. that this isn't the version that ended up on the full length. It in fact, it's like every other line. It goes from Kiska to Darius to Kai, back and forth. I mean, they're constantly. It's a bit excessive how they did it. I'm sure they did it just for the single. This one has got the Skyfall single edit again, and the song Indestructible, which was written by Marcus Groskopf, the bass player. At the time when these came out, that song wasn't available anywhere else, so kind of a shitty deal. They split it up and made people have to buy this twice, but we're collector scum. That's what we do, and this is just a precursor to what was to come, which is, of course, this gem of a record. These were color variants as well. I had like a pink one and then a marbled orange one. You don't really need to see that. This one is basically a sand marbled color. What matters to me is the music, and the music on this is amazing. I'm not going to go on too long about it because I've talked at length about this through Heavy Metallurgy and other places, of course. But the vinyl's a lot warmer sounding than the CD, a little muddier sounding, but it sounds good. There was no way I wasn't going to get it. I got it several versions on CD and this as well. But side B has the Down in the Dumps. Well, that's the last song on what would be the regular album, and then it also has Golden Times and Save My Hide, which I think were bonus songs on the CD. But my top album of 2021, easily, hands down, without a doubt. Nothing's going to come along and contest it. It's so good. And I'm just looking at it, holding it, I want to listen to it again, but I've had to take a little break because I've spun that album so many times. Next up, I can't remember if I showed these or not, but they've been sitting on a shelf, the to be filed shelf, for a long time, and it is I think these guys are from Cleveland, Faith Extractor. They're Raising the World of Myth debut, and their latest, Proverbial Lambs to the Ultimate Slaughter. My dog doesn't like the reflections it's casting on the floor, so she's over here whining. If you hear a dog whining, it's her trying to catch reflections. But excellent Midwestern Ohio-born death metal. These guys were a power trio, and they lost a guitar player. So Ash, who also sings and plays drums, moved to guitar, and they toured with a drum machine. But little girl, never mind. Good stuff. I mean, these guys are not reinventing the wheel. It's just old school death metal, but it's not the new old school death metal, if you know what I mean. There's actually really, this isn't a slam on new old school death metal. It's just more, the true old school has got more riff oriented and song structures than the new school. The new school is just a lot more polluted sounding and abysmal incantation worship, more or less. And that's a good thing. That's fine, but there is a definite difference. Next up, we've got Scorpions Love Drive. I have been slowly picking up older Scorpions releases when they come across my path in the wild, cheap. I think I got this for $7 or $8, but I'll cover up the booby. This, I think, is the first album without Ulrich Roth. It's great. It's got Loving You Sunday Morning, Another Piece of Meat, Always Somewhere, Coast to Coast, and Can't Get Enough, Is There Anybody There, Love Drive, and Holiday. I really like the older stuff with Uli on guitar, but this is also a good album. This band, no one sounds like the Scorpions. So good. Next up, Speedtrap. Is that what this is? Speedtrap? Yep. Speedtrap with Straight Shooter. This is my friend Craig sent me this. It's on Svart Records. Basically, this is Finnish, metalized, traditional heavy metal / hard rock. Told some members of Foreseen are in this band. I'm not familiar with the band Foreseen. Some people are. That'll mean something to somebody. It doesn't mean much to me, but this is just a good, hard rocking album. No thrills. There's some Motorhead-isms in it. There's just some, loud and loose metal, traditional vein. Sounds like a band that recorded this live. They set up amps and just crushed it. They're probably great live. Good stuff. Fun couple listens there. Next up, Sacrilege, Turn Back Trilobite. I'm a big fan of earlier Sacrilege. This is their last album, and it is a severe stylistic change. They kind of got rid of the punkier, crustier metal vibe on here, and it's just more groovy and just really strange. Tam's vocals, she's trying to be more melodious instead of screaming. This isn't a very good album. I had to pick it up to complete what collection I had, all on vinyl, and I had a friend downstate that had it for sale. Yeah, is that reflection bothering you? I'm so sorry. But yes, Sacrilege, Turn Back Trilobite. I would say really preview this before you throw down money on it. I've seen this thing go cheap. I've seen this thing go expensive. It's not worth spending a lot of money on, to be honest. Next up, The Ruins of Beverage, The Thule Grimoires. I'll show the vinyl on this because it is kind of cool. It's kind of atypical. I don't know if you can see that or not. It's like translucent green smoke with a black glob in the center. This album, I've listened to twice. And both times, I did not like it. I thought it was boring. I thought there were elements that sounded like there was a Typo Negative influence on there, which I like Typo Negative, don't get me wrong. But, man, for a band this creative and dark and weird and twisted, this seems really overrated. People have been kind of singing the praise of this album, and I think it's a departure, definite step down from the last one. To me, their best is Blood Vaults, and since then they've been kind of, maybe the couple after were maintaining a level of quality. This here seems like, yes, it's cultivating a similar sound, but the style, the songwriting style has mellowed out a bit, a lot more boring. I don't know, just did not click with me very well. I'm definitely going to have to come back to this one. She's like drooling all over this stuff. So yeah, the jury's still out on that. Next up, make sure I get the name of this right. Of Feather and Bone, Sulfuric Disintegration. A lot of people talking about Feather and Bone, and picked up a copy of this, and a lot better than I thought it was going to be. For some reason, I was under the impression this was straight up war metal. That element is there, but there are just some really well done riffs and stuff. I think the overall presentation has a war metalish kind of aggression to it, but mostly this is really well written, really dark and aggressive, evil feeling death metal. I really like it. Good stuff. I was quite surprised. I went back to this numerous times. Good stuff. Next up, how are we doing this? Let's do it this way. Iron Flame, Blood Red Victory. This is a clear vinyl variant. It comes with an autographed picture of the band and a let me see if I can get it out of here. Comes with a 5-song bonus track CD with Rainbow Demon by Uriah Heep, Man on the Silver Mountain from Rainbow, In Trance by Scorpion, Castle Walls by Styx, and Rory Erickson's Stand for the Fire Demon. All of these are great covers, completely held true to the original spirit of each song. This is the third, and equally as excellent. shot of traditional power metal slash traditional metal, all from the mastermind of Andrew DeCogna, my friend, and also in the band Nachachwin, also in the band Icarus Witch, and also in the band Brimstone Coven. So Andrew's a very busy man. This is his project, his sole project. He writes all the material and has assembled a band to play live, and they also this is their first album where they all recorded on it as well. There's a lot of Maiden influence on Iron Flame's music, and this album holds true. Very well done, very well recorded. Andrew's voice is smooth, powerful, melodious, really well done. Good album. If you're into no frills power metal, leaning more towards the European style, check out Iron Flame. They're great. Next up, we've got Wayfarer, another band a lot of people have sung the praises of. This has more of a Western motif going on. There's a train, the inside's got like cowboys on horses and stuff. Yeah, might as well show you. Big booklet, really thick booklet. This is black metal, atmospheric black metal in scope, but a lot more riffy. It's really good. I can't say that I was blown away by this, but I did enjoy it, and the more I spun it, the more I got used to it. They definitely are a different breed of band. They're not your typical atmospheric black metal band, which is refreshing. And the more I spin this and become a little bit more accustomed to the songs, I think this will be a definite grower. But this is A Romance with Violence is the name of this album. Really good stuff. Watch this. Simon, this goes out to you. This re-sleeve, nailed it. Next up, my buddy Rick Contreras from the Dreadful Minutes mentioned that he got a couple copies of this. I asked him if I could buy his second copy, and he sold it to me. Promags, Age of Coral. This is the Profile reissue. I didn't realize Profile was even still a label. They had the Chromags, they had Destruction, some other bands. But this is a reissue that was not sanctioned by the band, so the band considers this a bootleg, but this came out on Record Store Day, and it's been needed to be reissued for a very long time. This is probably, I haven't heard all of the New York hardcore in the world, but I've heard a fair bit of it, and it all aspires to be this album. To me, this is the pinnacle of New York hardcore. Best sounding, best written. There's a definite metal edge to it. The songs are fantastic. If you are wanting to check out hardcore for the first time, definitely track down a copy of Age of Quarrel. It is one of the best hardcore records ever, as far as I'm concerned. Excellent stuff. Like the CD so much, had to get a copy of Evoken's Hypnogia. Absolutely great, crushing, depressive doom death metal from the New York area, I believe. These guys are a long-standing band. They're excellent. Every album of theirs is excellence. This is a concept album written from the perspective of a guy in World War I dying in a trench. A soldier. Quite the impact of this album is excellent. Suffocating. The violin work. Just the way this band sculpts harmonies and these super sad melodies. They a class all their own, and I'm glad that death doom, straight up depressive death doom, really isn't the dish of the day, let's be honest. But the bands that do it well. I mean, there's a reason why this band has been around forever, and their perseverance, their love of what they do, but the music they create is something far more complex and deep than a lot of other stuff that's out there these days. Excellent. If you've not heard this is the latest from Evoken. Check it out. Hypnogia. I've got 2 more here. Next up, Norwegian Suitor. I think that's how you say it. This is just a black version. This is Demonic Possession, the second album, and my favorite Suitor album. I thought their first album was a bit overrated, a little too aggressive for me. This one is aggressive as well, but a little more Norwegian black metal sounding. I had copies of these in the distro a long time ago. Kept one for myself. Forgot to take it off the quantities, and someone bought it, so I ended up having to. I realized this and needed to get it, so I got another copy. I don't know if I'm going to go much further from this album, but I've got the first 2 on vinyl now. I'm pretty happy. This is a good album. It's good, solid, Norwegian, fast, black metal. Well done, well composed, sounds authentic. Excellent. Last slab of the day. This is, I'll get the name of it right. This is Gloom Lord by Worm. Florida death metal band. 2-piece. Man, you guys really stood up and saluted this album hard. I mean, a lot of people that I know and a lot of people I don't know showing this off and saying how amazing it was. I put it off, finally bought it, got the vinyl. I'm a little underwhelmed. I do like it. I think the sound of it's good. There's a little bit of a disembowelment from Australia feel in the doomy parts. There's like a weird thing they do that reminds me of disembowelment. But it's just a minor influence, and it doesn't really do a lot to beef up this album. And there's not a lot of dynamics on this. It's just kind of low plotting death doom with a new school, old school influence. I mean, it's just, I think there's a good groundwork here. I just would like to hear maybe a little more range of dynamics in the songs, maybe a little bit better songwriting. As it is, the more I've listened to it, I like it. I don't think it is as mind blowing as a lot of people proclaimed it to be. A little overrated, but it's still pretty good. This is a reissue on Iron Bonehead. Yeah, there's Equiman Thorn and Phantom Slaughter hanging out in the swamp there, probably getting eaten by mosquitoes. But yeah, it's pretty good. But check it out before you throw down the cash for it, because it may not live up to as much hype as what was laid down for it. But there you have it. This is just kind of a quick blast collection update, because I want to file this stuff. And I've got a bunch more coming. I've got a bunch already here. I have another stack all ready to go for another update. I'm just going to start peppering these in between episodes of Heavy Metallurgy, so I can stay on top of managing the collection. And again, thank you everybody for stopping by, checking out. Hopefully something here sounds interesting to you, and you can jump online, do your own research, and maybe get turned on to something new. You guys do it to me all the time. And I think at this point, I've been paying a lot more attention to guys and ladies on the internet showing off records that they say are worthwhile, and playing catch up a lot, which has been fun, but we'll get more into that as we get going along. But anyway, yes, thank you all for watching, and we will see you next time. See ya.